Hey, how are you? Middle of the week, and the new year is almost upon us. I wanted to talk about the Monday morning cup of Joe and planning. I share the topics, I open them up for conversation. We have a leadership community uh, where we have CEOs, entrepreneurs, we have, you know, senior VPs, directors, supervisors, all over the spectrum of formal leaders. And then we have a group of informal leaders, influencers within their organization. And then we have people who, well, have a desire to become a leader. We call them emerging leaders, right? But we're all leaders in our own life. And that life may be, we talk about the work-life balance. We may have a level of leadership or influence within the organization that we work for. And we have leadership in our life. And we should be clear on what we want to have happen. Look, time is fleeting. Time stops for no one, right? That's what they say. Time stops for no one. So that should create a sense of urgency. If you are not where you want to be, or you're not in pursuit of a vision or a dream, you got to get on it, because you don't want to be looking at life through the rearview mirror and fill your dialogue with woulda, shoulda, coulda, because we should all over ourselves all the time. And it doesn't make us feel good. And we need to feel good about ourselves if we're going to be good leaders for other people. If we're going to be good coaches, good influencers on other people, we have to feel good about ourselves. That's what positive leadership is all about. We have to create the context within our own mind, right? Mindfulness. We've got to create that context so that we are positive. And planning is a great way to be a positive leader. So let's talk about this. I opened up the conversation last week about planning because, hey, it's the new year. It's typical that we take a look at, what we did in 2022 and what we want to do in 2023. And plan that out, think that through. And as I said in Monday Morning Cup of Joe, share that with your team. Hey, you guys, this is the direction. Now, sometimes it's my boss that tells me, look, this is the direction the organization's going in. We need to get, your team's got to get alignment to that and have a plan of action for execution, right? Because you can't really execute without a plan, because that's what you're doing. Execution is about following a plan. And I opened it up, and some of the responses I got surprised the heck out of me. So I had a senior level leader say, I don't have time. You don't have time. You ever get too busy driving the car to put gas in it? What happens? You're on the phone, AAA, right? So you have to make time. Chances are you don't have time because you didn't have a plan. And you know what? Fires ignite in unplanned areas. When we come into the workplace and there's turmoil, chances are there's not a clear plan. People are doing what they think they're supposed to be doing, but oftentimes people are involved in counterproductive activities because it's not clear. We have half our team going in that direction, then we've got the other half of the team going in the other direction, and we look back at the end of the year and say, what the heck happened? Another person said, I don't like making plans because, it doesn't allow creativity and spontaneity. What? Look, when I'm talking about planning, I'm talking about setting goals. How you get there, you can find all the spontaneity and creativity you want, but you got to know where you're going. And you've got to have that level of clarity so that everybody understands to the point where you ask them what our goal is and they can tell you to your liking. what the goal is. And I suggest, absolutely, once you go through the planning process, you turn to everybody and say, now you tell me what our plan is and see what kind of responses you get. Some people will be on the same page with you. Some people, not so much. And don't attack them for being off page. Help them get back on, just explain, okay, you know what? Maybe I wasn't clear. I always like to take the blame. I don't want to make anybody on my team feel like they're stupid. That's not going to create a positive relationship. So I would say, you know what? I'm sorry. I obviously wasn't very clear. So let me start again. And then I go through the plan and talk about each of the steps. And if we're smart as leaders, we make sure that each individual understands their role in the accomplishment of that plan. This gives them a sense of importance, but it also creates the all-important accountability. I can't tell you over the past 2 years how many leaders have approached me and said, one of our biggest problems within our organization right now is accountability. Well, if you have a plan and that plan has steps, you create milestones, look up project management. We have a course on successforlife.com about project management. And it breaks things down into, okay, Karen, you're going to be responsible for this. And Rick, you're going to be responsible for that. And it's written down. You've got to have it documented. You cannot hold people accountable if you don't have it documented, because if you don't have it documented, I don't remember that. And you've got nothing to go back to. I use that document to say, let's go back to the document. Let's go through to make sure you understand. Because if I don't have that, I can't hold people accountable. And people may, get lost in the turmoil of day-to-day activity, and they've got something they can go back to and get themselves regrounded into, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Some people are busy, believe it or not, doing stuff, oftentimes because they don't know or they're not clear on what they're supposed to be doing. So this gives them a touchstone and a reminder of, oh, that's the priority. That's what's important. I need to be spending my time, the majority of my time, on that is most important. My sensei, Hideo Suzuki, the son of the Hideo Suzuki, used to say, keep what is important constantly in front of you, because out of sight is out of mind. So it's important. We have a what do we call it? Town square. We have a leadership town square at work. And up there is the goals. What is to be accomplished, by when, by whom. And we can see the interrelation between individuals on the team, because we all are kind of somewhat dependent on other people on the team to do their part so that we can do our part, and vice versa. And this creates and maintains a level of clarity. And when you have that level of clarity and you've created the execution plan, everybody knows what they're supposed to do. And if they run into problems, and I always tell them this, look, if you're unclear or you run into an obstacle, come to me. I will help you. We will partner up and we will overcome any obstacles, or we'll renegotiate what your responsibility is. Absolutely, I have no problem with that. Stuff happens, right? However, I also let them know that if you don't come to me and you're struggling with the barrier and your milestone or due date comes up and you are not there, we're going to have a difficult conversation. And I don't like difficult conversations any more than you like a difficult conversation. So come see me at the soonest opportunity that you feel that you are going to be challenged with a barrier or some difficulty that you're not sure how to get over, we will brainstorm together how to get past that. This is what leadership partnering is all about. We are servants, right? Servitude leadership. We serve our people to accomplish our goals. We don't do all the work to accomplish the goals. It'd be impossible. That's why we hire people, is because we need people to help us accomplish this goal, this vision. And it's a lot more fun to do it together than to do it alone. And so we bring people with talent that we believe will help us accomplish the goals that we need to accomplish, no matter how lofty those goals may be. So it stands in our way, or we stand in our own way, if we don't sit down with them and say, what do you need? How can I help? Because their success is our success. I mean, it doesn't get stated any easier than that. So it's absolutely essential, whether you're doing this as a formal leader, an informal leader, or just an individual who wants to take a leadership role in their life and have their life dreams accomplished, is to sit down and really journalize or write down, these are the goals that I want to achieve. And you can go on YouTube and do a search for SMART goals, the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, right? That gives you guidelines on how to write a good goal. And then sit down with your team and share with them, hey, this is what we want to accomplish. This is what we need to accomplish as an organization, as a department, as an individual. Let's have conversations around it. Let's talk about, what are our perceived challenges, and do you have some good ideas? Again, like I said, Monday morning cup of Joe, getting them involved helps create ownership. And we want people to own the goals for the organization. It's a must. It absolutely is a must. So I hope over the next couple weeks, because oftentimes, you're going to get into probably, a lot of the leaders that I work with, their leadership planning process, they'll spend 2 to 4 hours a day. And look, sometimes it's before work starts and sometimes it's after, because I know there's only so many hours in a day. But they'll spend that time up to the 3rd and sometimes into the last week of January to make sure that they've gotten everything ironed out, that everybody's on the same page, that every individual knows what they're going to be held accountable for, and that they know what resources and authority they have in order to be able to successfully execute those areas of responsibility, right? Because remember, in order to hold the people accountable, they have to have the resources to make it happen, and they have to have the authority to carry it out. If we miss any of those, we are really doing our team a great injustice. So, something to think about over the next couple weeks. I want you to start writing down some goals. Generally, we try to keep our goals within a half a dozen, because of course, too many goals is going to get, challenging to say the least. Now, if you accomplish some of those goals earlier in the year, you can always say, okay, great, good job. Let's celebrate. You fantastic. And now, okay, let's see where we need to go from there, because it's ongoing. We only picked the beginning of the year to do our planning because we probably have this break between holidays, and it's arbitrary. You could be doing this in June. I don't know. But it's important that it gets done. It's important that we plan for the future. It gives us a sense of accomplishment. It gives us a sense of focus. It gives us a sense of purpose and meaning. And it creates good, positive relationships. So think about that. If you have any questions or you have any comments or your own experience, Please share them down below in a comment. I would love that. Let's have a conversation. Let's make this an active platform, just like our leadership chat community, because that's how we learn, and that's shared wisdom. And shared wisdom is the best kind. And if you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit subscribe and hit the like and share this with somebody you think you might benefit from it. I appreciate it. You take care, and I will see you Monday. And have your, I don't even have my cup of joe with me. Have your cup of joe ready. All right? Take care.